Thank you for turning to page 121. Today I'm going to take a look in Unearthed Arcana, a book that I'm surprised is still so divisive 40 years after it was published. I get a lot of comments about how people don't use anything from Unearthed Arcana. I use a ton of stuff out of Unearthed Arcana. I liked this book when it came out. I guess I'm about half the fans for this. And of course, Gary Gygax, his name right there. So Gygax, of course, wrote a lot of this, but not all of it. But today we're going to look at the 4th level spell, Cleric spell, Spell Immunity. It's an abjuration. This is an interesting spell. I'll go through it. So level 4, ranges touch, 1 turn per level, 1 individual, verbal, somatic, material components, 1 round casting time, and saving throw none. 1 turn per level. The minimum level you have to be at for a 4th level spell, you have to be a 7th level cleric. So this guy lasts for an hour and 10 minutes at its lowest. By means of the spell, the cleric or any creature touched is made immune to the effects of a specified spell of 4th level or lower that the cleric has directly experienced. For instance, if the cleric has been hit by a fireball spell at some time, then this spell can be used to protect someone from the effects of fireball. This spell cannot affect an intended recipient who is already magically protected by a spell or other temporary effect. So if you've got a ring of fire resistance on, for instance, I, at my table, would not allow you to use spell immunity against fireballs because you already have a form of protection. The magic of this spell will protect against actual cast spells, not against effects from magic items or creatures' innate spell-like abilities. So you can be immune to fireball, but not immune to a fireball from a wand of fireballs, or from a staff of the magi, something like that. Not against the effects of magic items or the creature's innate spell-like abilities, but immunity lasts for full duration of the spell. Only one spell immunity can be in effect upon a single creature at any one time. Any application subsequent to the first have no effect until the first duration ends. That's interesting too. It doesn't wipe out the first spell if you try to cast over this. It just, you don't get the second casting. The spell immunity does not extend to items carried by the recipient, which must still make saving throws if applicable to avoid damage. So even though I'm immune to the fireball, my armor, my pack, my weapons would need to save if I failed my saving throw. Only a particular spell can be protected against, not a certain class of spells or a group of spells which have similar effects. Thus, someone given immunity to lightning bolt spells would still be vulnerable to a shocking grasp. The material component for the spell immunity is the same, if any, for the spell to be protected against. So fireball would be a ball of bat guano, that kind of stuff. An interesting thing, especially for clerics to have. I thought this was kind of curious. I would think this would be more up a magic user's alley, but what the heck? There's no reason you couldn't cross-write this for a magic user. But this is kind of neat, because so if I'm immune to fireball, but again, I'm not immune to something cast. So if there's a wand that casts fireball, wand of fireballs, I'm hit by it. If I'm immune to lightning bolt, I can still be hit by shocking grasp. And it only goes up to 4th level. So pretty interesting. I've seen this used a bit at my table. I had a cleric years ago that I did have used this. And it worked out really well. It was a fireball, and I'd been hit by a fireball before. So I cast it on myself as we went in against the big bad evil guy. And he lobbed the fireball at the spellcasters. The magic user standing next to me had fire resistance on, and I had the spell immunity to fireball. And we figured he was going to throw a fireball, and we were right. So it was kind of neat. There are definitely uses for this spell. I like that you can move it around, anything 4th level and lower. I would not allow you to be immune to something that gave physical damage, like an ice storm spell, which is 4th level. I would not allow you to not take damage from that simply because you're being battered by the big chunks of ice. But if there was some kind of ice ray or something, that cone of cold, that's higher level. But if there was some kind of spell I can't think of off the time, chill touch, something like that, I'd let you be immune to that, of course. But that's really all I've got on this. It's pretty straightforward, kind of a you pick what you're going to do. You can take this multiple times a day, and you can make yourself, and maybe in my table, you can only take a spell 3 times. So you can make yourself and 2 of your party members immune to fireball, and then if you're going in and the big bad evil guy throws a fireball at you from his own spells, you're all good. However, if the dragon in there breathes fire on you, you would get no defense whatsoever given by this spell. So pretty interesting. Nice self-limiting spell. I do enjoy it. I do recommend it. I think this could be a really good spell. And especially when you hit 7th level Cleric, you're getting up into that range where your guns are getting hit fairly often with fireballs and lightning bolts, at least at my table. So this might be a good spell to have in your back pocket against that. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Please take a look at the Patreon, see if you can help me out there. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video. Leave some comments below. Always interested in new topics, so go ahead and leave any ideas for those below. I take a look at everything. But that's all I've got to say today on page 121. I want to thank you for your time. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.